High-profile YSL trial has had it with delays and confusion in the courtroom, calling out the prosecution today. Atlanta News First Yasmina Alston is live at 5 from the Fulton County Courthouse. And Yasmina, that confusion was around a state's witness and a missing file.
Yeah, and a big part of today was spent trying to figure out where that missing file suddenly came from. That file had reports from the state's witness, who is a now retired police investigator.
Confusion and back and forth between the state and defense continues as the lengthy YSL trial carries on. On Wednesday, an investigator for the state was on the stand, but a big part of the day was spent figuring out where a missing file suddenly came from. That file contained reports from the state's witness, who is now retired police investigator Gaither. The confusion started when the state had Gaither identify her file during questioning. A file the defense had previously been asking for, but were told by the state reports in the file were lost.
You know, I mean,
I do understand, but I just want to make clear that this is not something that was we tried to conceal from anybody, given we served this.
I understand. Obviously, if they confirm that they already have the contents, that's not necessarily up for debate. It's just that the knowledge that it's Sergeant Gaither's is new. And when you learn it, it'd be nice to share it with the other people.
After much back and forth, Gaither was able to answer questions about her file, and it turned out not all of the pages in that file belonged to her. This all had to be made clear in the courtroom, but not before some strong words from the defense.
These men are all fighting for their lives. I don't know how we get to a point where we just grab a file and then just throw it in front of a detective, and the detective's like, yeah, looks like my file, in front of a jury, and then over a lunch break, then we determine, well, it's actually not her file. And again, none of us were even told about the file before it was even presented in front of the witness.
And all of this happening a day after Judge Whitaker basically called out the state for all of the delays happening in this trial. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
Atlanta News First continues to cover the YSL trial, gavel to gavel. We have full coverage streaming on Atlanta News First Plus. You can get it on YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, and Fire.